Okay, so, let's just dive right into this, because what Amara and Jasper are doing right now, this is giving me chills. They're literally sneaking into this super creepy building, right?
Oh, absolutely. And it's not just creepy, Alex. It's foregone us, humanity's building. Imagine, a place so unloved, so forgotten that even the AI wouldn't touch it. It's basically condemned to decay. And it's kind of got this architectural self-loathing thing going on, if that makes sense. Like the whole mood is just oppressive.
Wow, architectural self-loathing. I love that. And those debt crystals in the eaves, they're supposed to be inspirational, but they're just this ulcerous shimmer now. That's such a fantastic detail, you know? Like it immediately tells you something is really, really off here.
Totally. And then Jasper, he's saying it's probably haunted, and his voice actually breaks when he says haunted. That really tells you how tense he is. He's all jittery, fingers vibrating against his phone. Amara, though, she's just focused, carrying this piece of Espinosa's forbidden map, which she thinks of as a legal grenade, actually. Just like a total boss move, you know?
Yeah, I noticed that. She's got this compass out and it's acting all wild, like it wants to shiv someone. It's just whipping toward the humanities doors, ticking like crazy. So the map tells them the main doors are locked, but there's another way in?
Exactly. She murmurs, East stairwell, tracing her finger along the parchment. Then it's go to the water fountain, then turn left at the old debate room. It's very like old school treasure hunt, but with, much higher stakes.
Okay, so they're inside now, and I'm just picturing this. It smells like mold and asbestos lawsuits waiting to happen. I mean, that is just vivid. And it's 30 degrees colder inside? Just, so gross.
Right? And the compass, it's ticking like a clock being slowly smothered. It's like the building itself is just, decaying around them, you know? They're moving past these banks of lockers, completely covered in decade-old graffiti. And the map is guiding them by degrees of entropy. Think shattered directory signs, a yellowed flyer for a philosophy club funeral. Just a really, really sad vibe.
A philosophy club funeral. Oh, that's dark. And the hallways are, barely lit by these failing emergency bulbs. It just makes everything so much more, unnerving. And then they hit their first checkpoint, this water fountain, right?
Yes, a true relic, apparently from the Carter administration. And its spout, it's completely clogged with calcified spitballs. The rust stain blooming from the drain, it's described as a cracked crown. Just, very poetic imagery for something so gross. And the compass needle, it's just vibrating, then hammering north. So they know they're on the right track, despite all the, nastiness.
That's wild. And Jasper, bless his heart, he squints and says it looks like a murder scene from a B-grade true crime podcast. He's always trying to lighten the mood with these observations, even though he's clearly terrified.
He totally is. And Amara just gives him a glare. Save the escape room jokes. If the situation goes sideways, you're the bait. Which, honestly, is probably a fair warning in a place like this. And, she rolls her eyes when he admits he likes data sets with a body count. It's like these two, they have a whole dynamic already, even under all this pressure.
So they continue following the map, right? They pass the debate room, and it's just half the floor collapsed into a black pit. That's not ideal. And the compass, it's just getting louder, like a metallic arrhythmia.
Absolutely. It's escalating, right? And Jasper, he leans in and says, wouldn't want to lose your footing. And Amara, she's quick to remind him, that's why you go first, remember? They've got this banter, even, in this incredibly dangerous situation. And then they're just skirting along the corridor, turning left as the map indicates, and things get even more decrepit. Plywood and literal duct tape holding the walls together. A fire alarm with the glass punched out, just like total dereliction.
It's like the building just gave up. And then they reach this maintenance door, barely hanging on its hinges, with like 5 different no-entry stickers, all faded and peeling. And the compass, it just stops ticking. Then it spins like a full circle and snaps dead on at the door. That's gotta be a moment, you know?
Oh, it's a huge moment. And then Amara, she just tries the handle, and it's not even locked. It just opens onto this service stairwell, Alex, with dust so thick it mutes every step. It's absolutely pitch black until Jasper switches on his phone's flashlight. And then what they see? The walls are just covered in handwritten notes, post-its, receipts, even scantrons, each marked with a time, a date, and sometimes a number written in blood red Sharpie.
Blood red Sharpie? Okay, that's like seriously messed up. Jasper says if it's a prank, it's elaborate. And Amara, she just shakes her head. No one's this thorough for a prank. And she's right, too. This is way too much effort for a joke.
Totally. And at the bottom of the stairs, the map ends with a crude drawing. A rectangle, a bookcase, an arrow. No door, just a wall covered in peeling paint and a battered bookcase. And it's stuffed with rotted textbooks and, bizarrely, a row of old Pepsi bottles filled with different colored fluids. And the compass? It's buzzing in her palm. It's all just so weird and intriguing, right?
So Amara finds this book, Sociology of Oppression, pulled out a few inches, and she just smirks, like, of course. She tugs it, and then the whole bookcase slides open, revealing a crawl space. Very classic, but also, effective.
Yeah, very classic. And Jasper, of course, he's like, is there a monster at the end? He's still got his sense of humor, even when they're literally like entering a secret passage. And Amara just ignores him, slides into the gap. It smells like old paper and cold metal. And then it drops away to a steep, rusted metal staircase. At the bottom, a landing and then a door marked Lecture Hall 1A.
Lecture Hall 1A. And that's when the humming starts, right? This low, almost subsonic vibration. She feels it in her teeth, in her pulse. And she recognizes it too, the same resonance as the debt crystals, but way more intense. That's gotta be terrifying.
Oh, it's absolutely terrifying. Jasper is clinging to the wall, asking if it's normal. And Amara, she fights down the nausea, saying, if by normal you mean systemic, yeah. And that's just like a really chilling line. It implies that this isn't just some random weirdness. It's part of a bigger system. She opens the door, and the darkness is absolute. The compass actually glows faintly blue in the hum, guiding them in.
Wow, it's so unsettling. And then Jasper, his last words before the door slams shut behind them are, "Holy fuck, we're so dead," followed by like deranged laughter echoing up the stairwell. Okay, so they're in. They're past the last firewall, and the archive is waiting. But they're not alone for long, right?
Not at all. The air in Lecture Hall 1A, it tastes like the collective despair of 1,000 failed students. It's freezing. The room itself is just a fossil. Dust-caked desks, toppled podium, chalkboards with ghost equations. And then Elias Booker walks in, this tall, dreadlocked guy, radiating confidence. He's the first of their new allies.
So Elias just strides in. No hello, just straight to the point. He saw black-badged security types circling the building. Amara's suspicion meter must be like going through the roof at that point.
Oh, absolutely. She immediately asks if he brought a tail. And Elias, he's just like, they're always watching. The key is to keep moving faster than they can react. He's clearly very experienced in this world. And he tells them they're waiting for two more. One's already in the building, and the other is, like, unpredictable. Super intriguing.
Unpredictable. Love that. And then Tony Vargas just tumbles in, all nervous energy, curly hair, paint-stained shoelace holding it back. She's like a campus legend, runs 5 student clubs, 3 jobs. But she's into this stuff because of the last tuition cycle. And she's got a faint scar at her hairline, so something really happened to her.
Exactly. And then Max arrives, almost invisible, like a ghost, head down, hands in his pockets. He's checked the tunnels, cleared them. He's so crisp and precise, like a human version of a clean code push. And he just zeroes in on Amara, asking, "You're the scholar, right?" It's clear these people, they know who she is, or, like, what she represents.
Amara bristles, of course. Depends on who's asking. Classic. And Jasper, he just stares at everyone asking, "Are you guys always this, tense?" And Elias smiles, only when the stakes are real. Oh man, that just like sets the stage so perfectly for whatever is coming.
It really does. And Amara, she's gripping the map fragment, feeling the pulse of the ink like a second heartbeat. They're all here, all with their reasons, and none of them really trust anyone, which she thinks is probably the only way they'll survive the night. It's like this fragile alliance being formed, right?
Okay, so they're all gathered around this ancient, warped desk, and Elias just cuts to the chase. We don't have the luxury of months. Every hour we lose, someone else gets reset. He asks if anyone remembers what they ate for breakfast last week, and there's just silence. That's chilling, you know?
It's really, really chilling. And Jasper, his voice is all threadbare. He can barely remember yesterday, but he thinks that's normal for him. But then Tony, she reveals something really profound. She can't remember any Tuesday ever for at least 3 years. She even started drawing these blank, featureless heads with puppet strings coming off them before she realized something was missing. It's like just so unsettling, right?
She started drawing them before she even realized what was missing. That's just, like, incredibly poignant. And Elias asks if she's talked to anyone about it, and she just shrugs. No one thinks it's weird. No one thinks about Tuesdays. And her written notes disappear by morning. This is like systemic memory erasure. This is insane.
It's absolutely systemic. And Jasper, he brings up his laptop, showing encrypted text, redacted names, consortium emails. He was tracking packet loss on the student grid when he found this. He explains that they're not just after money. They're using cognitive cycles, specifically targeting stress and ambition. He pulls up this file called Asset Yield Optimization with charts and graphs showing spikes in emotional capital and valleys of long-term resilience. It's like so insidious.
Emotional capital. Wow. So they're literally like harvesting people's emotional energy and potential. And Amara, she asks, "And no one notices?" And Jasper just gives this bleak, raw grin. That's the beauty. It's self-correcting. If you notice, you forget. Or you think it's your own fault. Gaslighting as a feature. That's just dystopian. Okay, so Jasper's revelation about gaslighting as a feature? That's just mind-blowing. And Elias, he leans in and brings it back to their mission. The first generation, the test cases, they all burned out, dropped out, or ended up working for admin, shilling for the same bastards who harvested them. And he looks at Amara, and it's like clear he's telling her, "You're the first to break their curve." That's a lot of pressure, you know?
Oh, it is a ton of pressure. But Amara, she doesn't even blink. She just says, maybe because I'm more stubborn than smart, which, I mean, is a very Amara thing to say. But then Max, who's been silent this whole time, he finally speaks up and he reveals the real kicker. He slides Amara's academic transcript across the table, showing lines highlighted, cross referenced with code. He says, "You've got a built in anomaly."
A built-in anomaly? What does that even mean? Classes that don't exist? Faculty not in the system? She shouldn't even remember their names. That's just so wild. Amara's hands go cold, and she realizes those memory gaps she thought were just stress? No, they were targeted surgical strikes.
Exactly. And Max, he's so deadpan. You're a control. They wanted to see how far you could go before you broke. You didn't, so now the margin call is due. So she's not just a student, she's a data point, an experiment. And Tony, she's really shaken, asking if that's why her Tuesdays were erased. It's all just coming together now, right? This massive sinister plot.
It is. And Elias, he just slams the desk, saying, "Then we strike first. We hit the core. All this data says the consortium's main node is in the sub-basement of admin. If we get in, we can rip the contracts before they zero us out." But Amara, she's practical. She knows if they trigger the alarm, they'll fry the whole campus. It's a huge risk.
Yeah, she's right. It's not that simple. But Jasper, he suggests they ghost it, mirror the data, run a recursive loop to hide the breach. And Max actually relaxes a millimeter, saying that could work if they have a distraction. And Tony, she steps up, saying she can get people to rally at the old stadium, escalate a protest, set off a fire alarm. It's all falling into place.
So Elias is totally on board with Tony's distraction idea. Good, we do this fast and loud and then vanish before they even know what hit them. And Amara, she's watching them and her skepticism is melting into this strange, almost primal hope. She feels like she's finally among equals, all broken in their own ways, but still fighting. That's a really powerful moment, you know?
It absolutely is. She's finding her people, her tribe in this, really bleak situation. Jasper looks at her, waiting for her verdict, and she nods. All right, we do it your way. But if anyone gets caught, we don't try to save them. We finish the job. It's a harsh truth, but it's necessary for survival in this kind of fight, right?
It is. And Elias, he just grins. That's how revolutions work. I mean, wow, the stakes are just instantly raised to an 11. And then Tony, she reaches out, hesitates, and puts her hand in the center of the table. Not for ourselves, for everyone they've taken from us. That's just so moving, you know? It's not just about them.
It's really not. And one by one, they stack their hands. Elias, Max, Jasper, and then Amara. Her fingers are cold, but unshaking. And the hum in the walls, it just seems to fade, replaced by the pounding of her own heart. For the first time, she's ready to be remembered. It's such a powerful shift for her character, you know? She's found her purpose.
Yeah, all her life she's been this anomaly, and now she's embraced it and found people to fight with. So now, the plan. Max pulls out his phone, a digital countdown, 14 minutes until the first sweep. They have to move now. They're really up against the clock.
They are. And Amara, she immediately snaps into action, sketching the quad's layout on the chalkboard, marking admin, financial aid, the server farm, and the processing center. She's totally taking charge, and it's incredible to see.
So Amara's just sketching this whole plan on the chalkboard, and Elias is annotating it. He's talking about two teams, distraction and extraction. But Max, he's already like 2 steps ahead, saying, forget two teams. Security's been doubled, smaller is better. He's so pragmatic, you know?
He absolutely is. And Tony, she's thinking like outside the box, suggesting the ventilation system, saying she knows it connects to every major floor. If they move quietly, they could bypass half the checkpoints. It's a smart idea, actually, very resourceful. And Jasper, he's, on the tech side, saying he can spoof the security cams for a while, but if there's a physical sweep, they're toast. They need a plan B.
Right, so they're improvising, always improvising. And then Amara, she just cuts through all the noise, her voice so crisp. Everyone, shut up. Like boom, she's taking charge, you know? She lays out the roles. Tony works the crowd, Jasper manages cameras and comms, Elias leads direct action with Max, and she gets into the node because it needs her biometrics to unlock it. She is like owning this.
Oh, she's totally owning it. And Max, his face actually flickers with respect for a second. That's huge for him. He suggests she'll need a back door in case they lock her out, and Amara just gives this thin, humorless smile. That's why I brought Jasper. And Jasper, his eyes just go wide. Wait, am I going in? Or he's like a little surprised, you know?
He is. And Amara's just, you're my anchor. If I get stuck, you pull me out. Metaphorically or literally, I don't care. It's like total trust, total reliance. And Tony asks, what if she gets caught? And Elias just says, then you stall. That's all any of us can do. It's such a raw, honest answer for a revolution.
It really is. And the plan itself, it's nothing. And it's everything. It's enough. Max checks the timer, 10 minutes. And Amara, she feels the dread, but it's sharpened into purpose. They're like a band of low-rent revolutionaries. Elias raises a fist for every memory they stole, for every name they erased. And they all repeated, discordant but strong. Amara whispers, for all of us. Max says, 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's like not a lot of time, is it? Jasper, his hands are just trembling as he zips his laptop into this battered messenger bag. He just says, I'm scared as shit, for the record. And Tony squeezes his shoulder. Me too. You can just feel the tension, can't you?
Oh, you can totally feel it. It's palpable. Elias cracks his knuckles, then turns to the door, his eyes bright and wild. He just says, then let's make it count. It's this incredibly powerful moment of like resignation and determination all at once. They're like literally walking into the unknown, you know? This is it.
Yeah, they file out into the hall, a line of misfit martyrs with nothing left to lose and everything to reclaim. That's such a strong image. And behind them, the lecture hall just hums on, totally indifferent. It's just this like stark contrast between the huge personal stakes for them and the uncaring system around them.
It's absolutely brilliant imagery, and it just leaves you completely on the edge of your seat. What happens next? How do they pull this off? Do they even survive? The fact that they're willing to take this huge risk, knowing the odds are so stacked against them, just really like highlights the injustice they're fighting against and the sheer bravery of it all, you know?
Totally. It just proves how desperate the situation is. They've been pushed so far that this is like their only option. And for Amara to finally find this purpose, to feel like she's being remembered and fighting for everyone else who's had their memories stolen, it's a powerful, powerful arc for her, right?
It really is. It's not just about her anymore. It's about reclaiming humanity, really. And the title of the chapter, Countdown to Reckoning, it just perfectly encapsulates that feeling of like impending dramatic action.
I mean, I'm literally like on the edge of my seat, waiting to see what happens next with them all.
Okay, so they're out there now, just moments away from putting their plan into action. That image of them, a line of misfit martyrs, is just so powerful. But what exactly are they up against, beyond just the memory erasure?
That's where the deeper layer comes in, Alex. This isn't just about emotional capital. It's about fundamental financial control. The consortium found a way to weaponize the very safety net meant to help students, the Pell Grant. They've been using it as leverage, a financial tether that amplifies the harvesting.
Wait, the Pell Grant? So they're not just taking memories, they're essentially owning the future prospects of these students through their financial aid? That's beyond predatory. That's outright enslavement.
Precisely. The Pell Grant gambit is their most insidious play. They manipulate the disbursement schedules, creating artificial shortfalls, forcing students to take on additional debt that then gets tethered to their cognitive cycles. It's a way to ensure a steady supply of harvested potential.
So every student who thought they were getting a lifeline was actually walking into a trap? And Amara and her team are about to expose that whole system? The pressure on them must be immense.
Immeasurable, Alex. They're not just fighting for their memories now. They're fighting to sever the economic chains that bind an entire generation. And with only 5 minutes on the clock, this gambit could either be their downfall or their most significant victory yet. Stay tuned.